Hi, welcome to slide 3. Um, France as a nation during the 1620s returned to some stability, and with this stability comes a resurgence of interest in literature and in theater. At the same time, a rekindled interest in the neoclassical principles of theater began to affect playwriting, and in 1634, a playwright named Desmarets wrote the first French play that adhered strictly to the neoclassical ideals. Um, from this time on, French playwrights continued to change and develop French drama. Tragedy became really popular. The most popular themes explored in tragedies were themes of love versus honor. And comedy in France was set on a new path as well. The comedies used to be about comic servants, but they started to switch to comedies about the intrigues and misunderstandings of young lovers. That was becoming way more popular for comedy. Um, some playwrights were still rebelling against the neoclassical rules, and they were managing to still write plays that were very popular. But this actually got shut down because the government formed a group called the French Academy, and it consisted of 40 members, and they were basically like the literary police, basically. The French Academy cast verdicts on plays that weren't adhering to neoclassical principles, and kind of so plays that were some plays got controversial because they were not adhering to the neoclassical rules. And the French Academy would come in and they would lay down a verdict whether or not the play could keep going or if it needed to kind of get shut down or revised. It seems a little crazy, but most people behind this concept wanted to encourage the development of French art, and they wanted France to become the cultural leader of Europe. And they knew that all these other nations' playwrights were adhering to the neoclassical ideals, so they wanted to kind of like enforce it in their own country so they could get up on top. The French Academy actually was formed in 1637, and it still exists to this day. It's not, I don't think, as harsh in terms of placing verdicts on plays, but it does offer sort of like experts on literary and theatrical taste, basically. So we might think of this as being like way too much and sort of too rule-based and things like that, but it did propel French playwrights to kind of up their game. And adhering to the neoclassical ideals, they did start writing more and more skillful tragedies and comedies, which eventually paved the way for Moliere's famous comedies. Moliere is the most famous playwright to come out of the French Renaissance, and we were actually going to dive into one of his plays next week, and we'll talk a little bit more about Moliere in a couple more slides from now. So this all paved the way for someone kind of great to emerge. All right, I'll see you on the next slide.